What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 video. Now this is going to be your full patch notes for tomorrow's Title Update 11. Yes, Title Update 11 is coming out tomorrow on Tuesday, and it is packing a whole lot of stuff. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. This is going to be a little bit lengthy because there are a lot of things to go over. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. I am Kamikazevondoom. I hope you subscribe and ring that notification bell. That way you don't miss a single Division 2 video. But alright, so here we go. Starting off with the patch notes, very top. Title Update 11 and the new season / the summit. So, Title Update 11, new season is called Concealed Agenda. And then it says, a new season is almost upon us. Starting on September 22nd, Concealed Agenda offers 12 weeks of in-game activities and unique rewards. Season 3 brings a new seasonal manhunt, new leagues, and a new global event. This comes with new unique rewards, as well as an apparel event. So right off the bat, you can see that there's going to be one new global event. Yannick has already said in the State of the Game last week that the 3 original global events, I believe it's Reanimator, Polarity Switch, and then something else. I'm not a huge fan of the global events of Division 2, just because I played Division 1, and I got spoiled with the amazing global events they had in Division 1. However, they did say they reworked all of those global events to where it's going to be more fun and more inviting, and it's going to help the agent out more. So I assume that we're going to be able to use these a little bit more, kind of like what we did in Division 1. Now, moving on, it talks about the new manhunt. So the new manhunt is tasking you to take on 5 rogue agents over 12 weeks starting September 22nd. This is going to be all leading up to the BTSU leader, Barden Schaefer. Now, we have already seen that he's going to drop the shrapnel trap, and we've already tested out. It's okay. I hope they do a little bit tweaks. They've got about 2 months to do tweaks to the shrapnel trap, so hopefully they do something, because it was fun, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. Now, the new global event, SHD Exposed, is going to be the name of it. The new apparel event is going to be called Last Resort, and the new leagues will be called Shade, Wraith, and Dusk and Belfry. The new rewards we're going to get are going to be 2 new exotics, 1 gear set, 2 new named weapons, 2 new named gear items, and 1 new brand set. Now, we've already know what these are, so let's explain that. So the 2 new exotics that are coming in Season 3, that's going to be the backpack called the Memento. And then the other exotic that's coming with Season 3 is going to be the SMG called the Backfire. We've already done videos on both of those. Now, the new gear set, that's going to be the Hunter's Fury gear set. Again, we've already covered it. Pretty good gear set. I think it's OP, but I love it. Now, the 2 new named weapons, those coexist with the 2 new weapons that they're introducing into the game, being the shotgun called the 612 and the pistol called the Card. Now, the 2 named variants are obviously going to be based off of those 2 weapons. Now, the 2 new named gear items, they've already told us is going to be Perfect Bloodsucker, and what was the other one? I'll have to get back to you on the other one. But I know the backpack is going to be Perfect Bloodsucker. The chest piece, I just can't really remember right now off the bat, but I'll give it to you as soon as I figure that out. Now, it says playing Conflict will contribute XP by gaining conflict levels beyond 30. So you have to be at least level 30 to do so. Playing in the Dark Zone will contribute XP, and again, you have to be above level 30. So that's it about Season 3. Let's talk about the Summit, because they wrote a nice little paragraph about the Summit. Now, TU11 introduces the new PvE game mode, the Summit. This is for free to all owners of Warlords of New York. The Summit brings agents to a skyscraper occupied by hostile factions. And as you progress towards the top difficulty, it will increase every 10 floors. We already know this. You start off at the bottom, floor 1, it's normal. On floor 11, it becomes hard. On floor 21, it becomes challenging. On floor 51, it becomes heroic. And on floor 81, it becomes legendary. Now, it says right here, progression throughout the floors. It is saved by specific rally points, and players can leave and jump back in wherever they left off without losing their progress. The total time to reach floor 100 and thus unlock all the difficulties can vary greatly depending on the player's skills, equipment, and their team configuration. So basically they're saying to get from floors 81 to 100, you're going to need the builds and you're going to need a good team. Now it says here that it's highly replayable, 100 floors, checkpoint system, and unique rewards. We'll see what that is. The only thing we know of as of right now is if you reach floor 100, you will start the exotic quest for the chess piece. I believe it's called the Ridgeway's Pride. We did do a video on that during the PTS. That's the chess piece that if you're within 15 meters, it makes the enemy bleed. Now, here are some changes. So it says, based on PTS feedback, we have made improvements for the release of Title Update 11. Be in mind that all this is a work in progress, and as time goes on, they will continue to update the Summit. So we're going to get basically bare bones day one, and then I'm assuming later on they'll throw in more updates and ideas to increase the replayability. However, here is the list of things they changed during and after the PTS for the Summit. So they added greater variety and diversity in objective types as you progress. They changed the hostage revive timer to be longer, giving you more leeway before the objective fails. They increased the radius of the hack zone for EMP objectives. They increased the amount of loot caches scattered amongst the building, so that's cool, more loot. Obviously, the loot and all contents will scale with your difficulty. So if you're sitting there farming floors 1 through 10 and you're wondering why your buddy who's on floor 80 is getting better things out of the boxes, it's because it's based off of what difficulty you are in. Now it says it reduced the number of directives on legendary floors 91 to 100. So instead of 4 random directives, you only get 3. That's not bad. It makes it a little bit easier for everybody else. And it says we saw in the PTS about this, and those who prefer the tougher difficulties will not need to grind through the first 50 floors. So we are by default unlocking rally points up to 51. That way you can start on heroic floors. That right there, sidebar, I think is beyond stupid. I think you're sitting here saying this is highly replayable, but it says that you will have all rally points unlocked all the way up to floor 51 as of tomorrow. So technically, this is going to be a 50 floor summit because everyone's going to be able to start on floor 51 anyways. That's I think that's really dumb. Anyways, moving on. In addition to the new objectives added from PTS Phase 2, there are a couple more coming with Title Update 11. So be ready for more directives. They adjusted frequency of certain objective types based on PTS data and feedback. They tuned the drone ambush objective. Rogue agents encounter will be able to occur on legendary summit floors. So that's going to be interesting. So you will be able to get rogue encounters while playing on those legendary floors. I remember playing against the rogues on heroic, but that was not the case for legendary. During the PTS and the private servers, we were only able to go against White Tusk during the legendary floors, but they have added all the other factions to that difficulty. And yeah, so that is the summit and everything they changed. Next up is the appearance mods. I know this is a touchy subject, so if you want to fast forward a couple minutes, I don't blame you. Now, appearance mods, aka transmog, will become available tomorrow with Title Update 11. This allows for a much greater customization of your agent's visual look, and you will be able to save that appearance of all obtained gear following the release of Title Update 11. This allows you to override your gear's look and make it look like whatever gear it is you want. All gear is supported by appearance mods. Weapons and exotics are excluded. So that should say all gear is supported, excluding exotics. Now it says when you log in to Title Update 11 tomorrow, you will need to log in on each of your characters to unlock the looks of all your owned gear. So make sure you log into each character tomorrow. Alright, next up, Operation Iron Horse. So they are introducing Discovery Mode tomorrow. So this will probably come with another patch and achievement, whatever you want to call it. And basically it's going to be a watered down version of Iron Horse. A lot of you that have not ever played Iron Horse, this is a great opportunity to at least learn the layout. And if you get if you matchmake with others that know the strategies, they could easily walk you through it. And once you finish the discovery mode, you could go to the normal mode. Not bad. It's okay. Next up, new exotics. So the exotic MPX is called Backfire. Now, dealing damage will add 1% critical hit damage, stacking up to 200 stacks. This will last 10 seconds. However, on reload, it will apply a 10-second bleed to yourself, which deals 0.5% armor per stack. So, I've already made a video on this as well. What you do is you stack up on your hazard protection, get this new exotic SMG called Backfire, and you can just use it as a crit build. And as long as you have that hazard protection, 100% bleed resistance, you should not have any problems with this weapon. It should be pretty much a new meta. Next exotic is the backpack called the Memento. This one is introduced into Season 3 as well, so you can start to get it tomorrow. Enemies you kill will drop a trophy. Collecting these trophies will give you a short-term and long-term buff. The first of which will scale with the number of core attributes you have, and that main buff will last 10 seconds. The minor buff will last 300 seconds, and let's get into the buffs themselves. So per core attribute, you will get 5% weapon damage per red, 10% bonus armor per blue, and 5% skill efficiency per yellow. Now that is for the short-term buff. For the long-term buff, you will get 1% extra weapon damage, 1% skill efficiency, and 0.1% armor regen. And you can stack those bad boys up to 30, which is pretty crazy. And then finally, the third exotic is your Ridgeway's Pride. So, they changed it. So now it's within 10 meters, it'll apply a bleed to a target. This will also repair 1 to 25% of your armor per second for every enemy that is bleeding within 10 meters. So, for example, if you get 5 enemies bleeding within 10 meters, you get 25% armor per second. That's pretty crazy. Now going on to the gear set. That's the Hunter's Fury, and let's see if they updated this one at all. So Hunter's Fury gear set, this is a offensive gear set specializing in aggressive close combat. So you only get the 2, 3, and 4 piece, and then remember the chest and the backpack will amplify the gear set bonuses. For example, Hunter's Fury 2-piece will give you 15% SMG damage and 15% shotgun damage. For the 3-piece, you will get 20% armor on kill and 100% health on kill. And then for the 4-piece, you will get that talent Apex Predator. So enemies within 15 meters receive a debuff. This will increase your weapon damage against them by 20%. And if you kill a debuffed enemy, your weapon will disorient other enemies within 5 meters. And if they are disoriented, that will amplify your weapon damage by 5% for 10 seconds. This will stack up to 5 times. So this gear set is still going to be insanely OP. It looks like they haven't really changed anything for it, and it's going to be really fun to use. Now, as far as the chest and backpack, like I said, they have talents that amplify the gear set bonuses. So the chest piece is going to be called Endless Hunger, and this increases the duration of that Apex Predator stacks from 10% for 10 seconds to 30 seconds. So that is going to be the disorient duration, where you disorient an enemy and you get the extra damage. That will now last for 30 seconds. Now the backpack is called Overwhelming Force, and this is going to increase the radius of that disorient talent. So whenever you kill an enemy, instead of disorienting every enemy within 5 meters, it's going to be 10 meters. So that's not bad at all. Now moving on from the exotics, now they are talking about the new skill variant. This is called the Shrapnel Trap. We already talked about that earlier. The BTSU commander or leader, Bargain Schaefer. So at the end of the manhunt, you will be able to get the Shrapnel Trap. Again, you're not going to be able to get your hands on it for like another 2 months. So we'll just push that to the side. Now, as far as the new named items, you will get the 612 shotgun. It's going to be called the Mop, and you're going to get 10% armor on kill. Now, in the PTS, it was only 5%, so they doubled it for Title Update 11, so that's going to be something to look for. Now, the card named variant is going to be called the TDI Card Custom, and this will give you 1+ skill tier when you're using it. So you don't have to get a kill, you don't have to injure anybody. All you have to do is use that pistol or hold that pistol, and you will get 1+ skill tier. Now, the 2 new gear items, named gear items, they are both from Bellstone Armory. Now, this tells you exactly what's up. So the chest piece gives you perfectly efficient. So using an armor kit has a 75% chance not to consume the armor kit, and the specialization armor kits are going to be increased by 100%. And then you have the Bellstone Armory backpack, and this one's going to come with that perfect bloodsucker like I was talking about earlier. Killing an enemy will add and refresh a stack of 12% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Stacks up to 10 times. So you could get upwards of 120% bonus armor. That's pretty awesome. Now this kind of segues into the gear set, because you can't have those new named items without a new gear set. So the new gear set is called Bellstone Armory. It is a defensive brand set, and this gives you only 3 bonuses. So running 1 piece will give you 1% armor regen. 2 pieces will give you 10% armor on kill, and 3 pieces will give you 20% incoming repairs. Now, moving on to the weapons. We already talked about the named weapons, so let's talk about the normal ones. So that shotgun, you will have a 612 shotgun. It is a compact 6-round shotgun for close quarters, obviously. And then for the pistol, it's called the Card 45, and it's going to be a 45 ACP, utilizing the same technology as the Vector, but in a very small package. That sounds pretty cool on paper, but we'll see tomorrow. Now, as far as skill efficiency, this is something new that's introduced into TU11, and they're explaining what it does. So getting 1% of skill efficiency is equal to 1% skill damage, skill haste, skill duration, skill health, repair skills, and status effects. So basically getting that skill efficiency from that backpack memento is going to really help out your skill builds. Now remember that exotic backpack will give you 3 core attributes, so you could very well run a full skill build with that exotic backpack. Alright, so we are done with all the gear and whatnot. So now we are going to talk about the new directives. So there are 2 new directives that are being introduced into Title Update 11. The first of which is called Fragile Armor. And this says armor breaks at a stack of broken to the agent up to a maximum of 4. Each stack of broken reduces an agent's armor by 20%. Jesus. Using an armor kit will remove 1 stack. So, if you are running and gunning and an enemy takes away your armor, when you get your armor back and you have a broken indicator on your agent, you're only going to get 80% of your initial armor. And by the time you're done with all of these stacks, you will only have 20% of your initial armor. That's crazy. That directive sounds pretty crazy. Now, the next directive is Scavenged Skills. And this says skill cooldowns do not progress on their own. Agent must collect skill parts as drops from enemies and broken weak points. Each part collected reduces your skill cooldowns. So basically, if you use this directive called Scavenged Skills, you will not be able to use your skills until you kill enemies, collect these parts, and then your skills will eventually go on cooldown. Again, both of those sound pretty crazy, but we'll see what happens. Now, they go into global events. So they're talking about the 3 global events. It is called Guardians, Polarity Switch, and Reanimated. They go ahead and tell us exactly how they changed it. So for the global event Guardians, the buff provided from killing a guardian angel now grants the ability to penetrate guardian protection. In addition, the buff renews its duration with each kill. This permits agents to chain kills throughout an entire fire team without necessarily defeating all the guardians first. So if you remember with the global event Guardians, you will have 1 enemy out of a group of enemies, and they will have, they'll either be highlighted yellow or they'll have some sort of indicator. Now the rest of the enemies cannot be damaged until you kill that guardian. So what this is saying is the new change: if you kill 1 guardian, you'll be able then to penetrate all of the other enemies. So if you kill 1 guardian, but there's 3 in total, you can kill all the other enemies and then work on the remaining guardians. That makes it a little bit easier, but you still have to kill 1 initially to even get that started. So that still makes it a little difficult, because say you have 8 enemies and only one of them's a guardian, you have to somehow, dip and dodge through all the other enemies, kill that guardian, and then you'll be able to kill the rest of the enemies. I'm not interested in that one. So polarity switch, the new changes. The shock for shooting opposite polarity enemies has been removed completely. That's actually a good change. Values for the strength of stacking buffs have been updated to provide a significant power boost to agents. So with polarity switch, your agent's arms will change colors upon reload and switching weapons. Whatever color your arms are, you have to shoot the enemy that matches that color. Before, if you messed up and shot the wrong enemy, it would shock you. And not only would it shock you, it would really mess you up. So what they did is they removed that completely. And now, if you just kill the enemies that you're supposed to, it's just going to give you a huge buff. That sounds pretty cool. You could definitely use that with legendaries and things like that. That sounds really good. Reanimated is the third and last one. And the changes to this are as follows. The green cloud produced by killing enemies with a headshot no longer harms agents. The cloud now heals agents and provides a significant boost to their firepower while standing within it. The green cloud continues to significantly hurt enemies. Again, that is a huge change, and I like that a lot. So with reanimated, you kill an enemy with a headshot, it's going to spread this green cloud that will harm all the other enemies. And if you run into that cloud and stay there, it will heal you and give you a firepower buff. That sounds awesome, especially, again, for legendaries, because you'll be able to use these global events in the summit and on legendary missions. So having these global events that actually help the agent will make these legendaries easier to come by. So getting away from global events, now they are talking about mods. So mod slots on backpacks, chest, and mask will now be generic. You will no longer have to associate them with red, blue, and yellow. They will now be gray mod slots. So these generic mod slots, you can throw anything you want on any piece of gear, as long as it's holding a mod slot for you to use. So Seska, you can now use red mods instead of blue, which is amazing. I believe it was Grupo Sombra that had yellow mods, so now you can throw reds on those as well. This is really going to open up the build diversity just as far as mods go, which will help your resistance, your crit, your headshots, your skill haste, what have you. Whichever way you want to go, you can really expand your hybrid builds and tailor them to your playstyle. So that's pretty cool. I wish they did that day one. Now moving on to the loot. It says rainbow loot, so they are addressing the rainbow loot. And now this says rainbow loot. Introduced weighing to gear attributes to reduce the amount of rainbow loot. The first non-core attribute will have a higher chance to be the same color as the core attribute. And they're not even showing a percentage. So what they did, if you remember about a month ago in State of the Game, they said that it would be a 100% chance. So if you had a red core attribute, you'd be guaranteed to get a red attribute. However, now it just says you will have a higher chance. So it doesn't have a specific number. They haven't released anything for that, but it just says higher chance. Next up, Season 2 content. Updated Legacy Season cache to include gear set and named items from Season 2. Added Season 2 blueprints to the general blueprints loot pool. Removed Season 2 level requirements from Season 2 exotics. And the Mantis and Vile exotics will now be acquired through anywhere you can get exotics. So everything from Season 2 is now being added into the general loot pool. Pretty cool. Now, balancing changes. All of you PvP players, I know I'm about 30 minutes into the video, but if you're a PvP player, put your listening ears on. So here are all the balancing changes. First up, named items. The death grips, that is your named 511 gloves, will now have 10% armor on kill. That is increased from 5%, so they doubled it. For all you Eclipse Protocol runners, they lowered the indirect transmission of kill status effect spread from 15 meters to 10 meters. So that's a little nerf. Proliferation now increases the range of indirect transmission from 10 meters to 15 meters, which, I mean, they kind of negated the nerf. Interesting. And then next up, they increased the symptom aggravator damage amplification from 15% to 30%. Jesus. So Eclipse Protocol is still going to be super strong. I would probably say stronger than what it was, to be honest. That sounds crazy. Next up, they're talking about the Obliterate talent. This is for your chess piece. Now, the Obliterate talent will now be increased to 25 stacks max instead of 15 stacks. So that's good. It's not up to par with Intimidate, but it's close enough. Now, PvP changes. Reduce the global PvP damage modifier from 0.35 to 0.3. So everyone got a little bit of a nerf. It says it reverted the pistol or the PvP damage to pistols. So now it's back to TU 10.1 values. So that's a buff. They're increasing the damage to all shotguns, rifles, and snipers. Man, so that's going to really... Slight reduction to overall SMG PvP damage. It doesn't say how much, but it says slightly reduced. So the PvP SMG builds are going to be nerfed. And then finally, the Lady Death. Lady Death is going to be nerfed 15% from 75% to 60% in PvP. So if you're running around with the Lady Death, you're going to have a 15% nerf on top of the overall SMG nerf that they gave all of the SMGs. So that kind of kills SMG builds. So look for me to be running AR and LMG builds. Now, what's up next? Okay, so the Crusader Shield, Reflector Shield, and Striker Shield will now take 33% more damage in PvP. All Riot Foam launchers, the ensnare duration will be lowered from 3 seconds to 2 seconds in PvP. So right off the bat, the shields are getting nerfed by a third. Riot Foam is getting nerfed by a third. Next up is the Firewall Specialization talent. Fire Response will no longer apply burn in PvP. So all of you that are running Firewall just to burn somebody if they're killing you, you can no longer do that. So you cannot sit there and use that talent as a crutch. I've been saying time and time again that I hate that talent. I thought it was the worst, like it's beyond worthless. If I'm killing you and then all of a sudden I get put on burn, that puts you at an advantage. And it just doesn't make any sense. If I'm beating you, just let me beat you. Don't have something in the game to like help, crutch the player along. Just get over it. Take the L. All right, next up are audio improvements. They're saying that they're fixing some of the audio bugs, but we'll just have to see for that. And then there is actually a huge list of bug fixes. I'm not going to go through them just because scrolling through this, there's easily 30 different bug fixes. So with that being said, welcome you guys. We got through all of the patch notes, so that's really good. Tomorrow is going to be title update 11. That's going to introduce all of the things I just said plus the summit. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of videos coming your way. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about these patch notes, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'm Kamikazevondoom. Don't forget, hit that like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys. Peace.